False prophets. In Matthew 24, verse 11, and many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. So what is a prophet then? Let's see what the Bible has to say about them. In Numbers chapter 11, starting in verse 14, I am not able to bear all this people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of hand. If I have found favor in thy sight, let me not see my wretchedness. And Yahweh said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be the elders of the people, and officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there. And I will take of the Spirit which is upon you, and will put it upon them. They shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that thou bear it not thyself alone. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. And you shall eat flesh, for you have wept in the ears of Yahweh, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore Yahweh will give you flesh, and you shall eat. So there was a spirit on Moses. So the purpose of the spirit was to help bear the burdens of the people. Numbers 11, verse 19. And you shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils, and it will be loathsome unto you. Because that you have despised Yahweh, which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? And Moses said, the people among whom I am are 600,000 footmen, and thou hast said, I will give them flesh that they may eat a whole month. Shall the flocks and the herds be slain for them, to suffice them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them, to suffice them? And Yahweh said unto Moses, is Yahweh's hand waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not. And Moses went out, told the people the words of Yahweh, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. Yahweh came down in a cloud, and spoke unto him, and took of the spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease. Notice that Moses wanted all the people to be prophets. Numbers 11:26. But there remained 2 of the men in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, the name of the other is Medad, and the Spirit rested upon them. And they were of them that were written, but went not out unto the tabernacle. And they prophesied in the camp. And there ran a young man and told Moses and said, Eldad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Joshua, the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, answered and said, my lord Moses, forbid them. And Moses said unto him, enviest thou for my sake? Would Elohim that all Yahweh's people were prophets, and that Yahweh would put his spirit upon them. Prophecy is not speaking of the future. Occasionally they do, but telling the future is not what makes one a prophet. Prophets were enabled to do inspired speaking. In other words, speaking the word of Yahweh with authority, just like Moses was doing. That is why Joshua said that what he did, up until now, Moses was the only one speaking with authority, and Joshua was just not used to seeing this in someone else. A prophet speaks with authority the word of Yahweh. In Matthew 7:29, For he taught them as one having authority, not as the scribes. And they were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one that had authority, and not as the scribes. That was in Mark 1, verse 22. A prophet speaks forth for someone. Different than the word seer, prophets have nothing to do with predicting the future. Prophets are given power to instruct and admonish the people with an authority recognized as having its source in Yahweh. In Deuteronomy 18, verse 18, I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee, and will put my words in his mouth, and he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him. And it shall come to pass that whosoever will not hearken unto my words, which he shall speak in my name, I will require it of him. But the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other Elohims, even that prophet shall die. The phrase "in my name" means "in my authority." Has nothing to do with the name itself. Also, this is not just talking about when Yeshua comes and speaks, even though he is the main prophet that this verse is pointing to. It applies to all the prophets that Yahweh sends. Deuteronomy 18:21. And if thou say in thy heart, how shall we know the word which Yahweh has not spoken? When a prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yahweh has not spoken. But the prophet has spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him. Now this is the easy part. If they say it's going to happen and it doesn't happen, false prophet. Simple. By the way, the Spirit brings to remembrance, and you can't remember something if you haven't put it in your mind. That is why you need to read the Bible. Fill that library that's up there between your ears. In Ezekiel 22, verse 25, there is a conspiracy of her prophets in the midst thereof, like a warring lion ravaging the prey. They have devoured souls. They have taken the treasures and precious things. They have made her many widows in the midst thereof. Her priests have violated my law and have profaned my holy things. They have put no difference between holy and profane. Neither have they showed difference between the unclean and the clean, and have hid their eyes from my Sabbaths, and I am profaned among them. Her princes in the midst thereof are like wolves ravaging the prey, to shed blood, and to destroy souls, to get dishonest gain. And her prophets have daubed them with untempered mortar, seeing vanity and divining lies unto them, saying, Thus says Yahweh Elohim, when Yahweh has not spoken. Clean and unclean. There are very specific rules of engagement when it comes to Yahweh. The Shekinah is that high level of Yahweh's presence in the tabernacle. In Deuteronomy 13, verse 1, if there arises among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and gives thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or wonder come to pass, whereof he spoke unto thee, saying, Let us go after other Elohims, which thou hast not known, and let us serve them, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams. For Yahweh your Elohim proves you to know whether you love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. You shall walk after Yahweh your Elohim and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice, and you shall serve him, and cleave unto him. And that prophet or that dreamer of dreams shall be put to death, because he has spoken to turn you away from Yahweh your Elohim. which brought you out of the land of Egypt, and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, to thrust thee out of the way which Yahweh thy Elohim commanded thee to walk in. So shalt thou put the evil away from the midst of thee. What is the purpose of miracles? To strengthen your belief or trust in the Almighty. It is a test moment. And what is the definition of evil from Scriptures? It is breaking any of Yahweh's instructions. This is evil. Satan wants to get you from the path of the way. In John 14:6, Yeshua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. Satan wants to make you stray from Yeshua. The truth, the Torah, the Word, the light. In Deuteronomy 13:6, if thy brother, thy son of thy mother, or thy son of thy daughter, or the wife of thy bosom, or thy friend, which is as thy own soul, entice thee secretly, saying, let us go and serve other Elohims, which thou hast not known, thou know not thy fathers, namely the Elohims of the people which are round about you, near unto thee, or far off from thee, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. Thou shalt not consent unto him, nor hearken unto him. Neither shall thy eye pity him, neither shalt thou spare, neither shalt thou conceal him, but thou shalt surely kill him. Thy hand shall be first upon him to put him to death, and afterwards the hand of all the people. This is some strong warning. Loved ones, friends, anyone, don't listen to them. Deuteronomy 13:10, and thou shalt stone him with stones, that he die, because he had sought to thrust thee away from Yahweh thy Elohim, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage. And all Israel shall hear and fear, and shall do no more any such wickedness as this is among you. So to recap, in Deuteronomy 18, prophets do something and it doesn't happen. Easy. In Deuteronomy 13, prophets do something and it does happen, but try to move you away from Yahweh, Torah instruction, both being false. In 1 John 4, verse 1, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of Elohim, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. So how will you believe the spirits? How will you try them? By what is written in the Torah, the Bible. If a voice is in your head tells you to follow a certain man, or a certain person says, Yahweh spoke to me such and such, stop and ask yourself, are they following what Yahweh said in Scripture? Remember, he said, I change not, the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. In 1 John 4, verse 1, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of Elohim, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. You know, there's three voices in your head. Your voice, which is always talking. Satan's voice, always telling you to do this or that. Or who's going to know or care? Yahweh's wrong. And then we got Yahweh's voice. Still, quiet, waiting for all those other voices to quiet down and tell you the truth. 1 John 4, verse 2. Hereby know you the spirit of Elohim. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua Messiah is come in the flesh is of Elohim. And every spirit that confesses not that Yeshua Messiah is come in the flesh is not of Elohim. And this is that spirit of Antichrist, whereof you have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world. The spirit of anti-Messiah is already here. It is not a person yet. It is a behavior pattern. It is a purpose, a function. 1 John 4, verse 4. You are of Elohim, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. They are of the world, therefore speak they of the world, and the world hears them. We are of Elohim. He that knows Elohim will hear us. He that is not of Elohim hears not us. Hereby know we the spirit of truth and the spirit of error. Those who have a relations with Elohim will hear you. Those who can't hear you. The spirit of Yeshua and the spirit of a lie, delusion. So what is truth? Yeshua. John 14:6. Yeshua said unto him, I am the way. I am the truth and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. In Psalms 119, verse 142. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is the truth. 119, verse 160. The word is true from the beginning, and every one of thy righteous judgments endures forever. The word, the Torah. Delusion, by the way, is number 4106. Planē means wandering, straying about, one led astray from the right way. Romans here and there. In 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 11, for this cause Elohim shall send them strong delusion, that they should believe a lie. The spirit of anti-Messiah is a fraud. Messiah 7:15. Beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravaging wolves. You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree brings forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree brings forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit. Neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every tree that brings not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits you shall know them. How will we know them? By their fruit you shall know them. Look what they are doing. In Matthew 7:21. Not everyone that says unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that does the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wondrous works? Then I will profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you that work iniquity. And what is iniquity? From the number 458, anomia, the conditions of without law, because ignorant of it, because of violating it, contempt and violation of law, iniquity, wickedness. Only the ones doing the will of the Father. And what is the Father's will? The covenant. Exodus 19, if you obey, I will take you as my people. Exodus 19:5. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Keep his commandments. Authority. Claiming it does not mean you have it. There are false prophets all over the place claiming they have authority, but they don't. Moses had authority. Isaiah had authority. Jeremiah had authority. All the major and minor prophets had authority. But We have people running all over the place claiming to have authority and doing mighty works in his name on TV. One prophet follows the law, the other ones don't. Lawlessness or lawful. Father in heaven does everything legal. In Matthew 7:24, therefore, whoever hears these sayings of mine and does them, I will liken him unto a wise man, which builds his house upon a rock. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the winds blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell not, for it was founded upon a rock. And everyone that hears these sayings of mine and does them not shall be likened unto a foolish man, which built his house upon the sand. And the rain descended, and the floods came, and the wind blew, and beat upon the house, and fell, and great was the fall of it. And it came to pass, when Yeshua had ended these sayings, the people were astonished at his doctrine, for he taught them as one having authority, and not as the scribes. Lawlessness, number 459, enomios, meaning destitute of the Mosaic law, of the Gentiles, departing from the law, a violator of the law, lawless, wicked. If lawlessness is anti-Torah, then lawlessness is anti-Messiah, Yeshua. This is your connection to anti-Messiah, anti-Torah, anti-law. 1 John 3, verse 4. Whosoever commits sin transgresses also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. So let's talk a little bit about end times. In Matthew 24, verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. So what love is he talking about? Exodus 20, verse 6, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Deuteronomy 5:10, showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. John 15, verse 10, if you keep my commandments, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Deuteronomy 11:13, and it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love Yahweh your Elohim, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul, thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet, or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahweh your Elohim proves you, to know whether you love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. In Joshua 22:5, but take diligent heed to the commandments and the law, which Moses, the servant of Yahweh, charged you, to love Yahweh your Elohim, and to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments, and to cleave unto him, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul. If you love me, keep my commandments. Love Yahweh with all your heart, soul, mind, and keep his commandments. Almost everywhere love is mentioned, Torah and commandments are there also. Father says, love me in your obedience. Obey because you love me. So because of lawlessness, the vertical love will wax cold. John 14:15, if you love me, keep my commandments. John 14:12, truly, truly, I say unto you, he that believes on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. And whatsoever you shall ask in my name, that will I do, and the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. If you love me, keep my commandments. And I will pray the Father, and he will give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever. 1 John 2:3. And hereby we know that we know him, if we keep his commandments. John 2:4, 1 John 2:4. He that says, I know him, and keeps not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. 1 John 2:1. My little children, these things write I unto you, that you sin not. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Yeshua Messiah, the righteous. Knowing is a relational understanding, intimate relationship. When a man knows his wife, it is more than sexual. It is a deep understanding of your mate. If you love me, guard my commands. Yeshua is a commandment giver. We never on this planet interact with the Father. The only one we ever interact with is the Son. In the beginning, the Father and Son did everything together. In chapter 1, before there was any sin or death, clean and unclean protocols were more stringent with the Father than with the Son. Yeshua has said, no one has seen the Father except me. In John 1, verse 18, no man has seen Elohim at any time. The only begotten Son, which is in the bosom of the Father, he has declared him. John 5:37. And the Father himself, which has sent me, has borne witness of me. You have neither heard his voice at any time, nor seen his shape. John 6:46. Not that any man has seen the Father, save he which is of Elohim. He has seen the Father. No one sees the Father or heard his voice. So who was Moses talking to? Who had lunch with Abraham? The one we know as Yeshua. Yeshua was like a father to them. He created them, but he wasn't the Father. Who was the one on Mount Sinai given the commandments? Yeshua. So when Yeshua says, if you love me, keep my commandments, what's he talking about? The commandments he gave at Mount Sinai. Remember Revelation 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth were passed away. There was no more sea. And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Elohim out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Elohim is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Yahweh himself shall be with them, and be their Elohim. 1 John 2:4. He that says, I know him, and keeps not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoso keeps his word, in him verily is the love of Elohim perfected. Hereby know we that we are in him. What love? The love of truth, or the one that wax cold. When you guard his commandments, you are in his love. When you are lawless, the love waxes cold. Follow means being the same as I am. Be like him. 2 Peter 2, verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. Many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of the truth shall be evil spoken of. How can you deny the Master? It's not like I don't believe in Yeshua. It's I don't believe Torah, which is Yeshua. I don't believe in the law, which again is Yeshua. The way of truth is Torah. And like 2 Peter said, the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. People are calling the way of truth evil, destructive heresy. And heresies is number 139, ha'is rasis, act of taking, capture, storming a city, choosing choice, that which is chosen, body of men following their own tenets. Revelation 12:9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceives the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. John 8:43. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. You are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. And because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Which of you convicts me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of Elohim hears Elohim's words. You therefore hear them not, because you are not of Elohim. Matthew 24:4. And Yeshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceives you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Messiah, and shall deceive many. Then if any man shall say to you, Lo, here is Messiah, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Matthew 24:25, Behold, I have told you before. 2 Peter 3:16, as also in all his epistles, speaking in them of these things, in which are some things hard to be understood, which they that are unlearned and unstable wrest, as they do also the other scriptures, unto their own destruction. 2 Thessalonians 2:1. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Yeshua Messiah, and by our gathering together unto him, that you be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by word, nor by a letter as from us, as that the day of Messiah is at hand. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he, as Elohim, sits in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. Remember you not that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now you know what withholds that he might be revealed in his time. For the mystery of iniquity does already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness, in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved. And for this cause Elohim shall send them strong delusions, that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believed not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. But we are bound to give thanks always to Elohim for you, brethren, beloved of the Lord, because Elohim has from the beginning chosen you to salvation through sanctification of the Spirit and belief in the truth, whereunto he called you by our gospel, to the obtaining of the glory of the Lord Yeshua Messiah. Therefore, brethren, stand fast and hold the traditions which you have been taught, whether by word or by our epistle. Now our Lord Yeshua Messiah himself and Yahweh, even our Father, who has loved us and has given us everlasting consolation and good hope through grace, comfort your hearts, and establish you in every good word and work. This is the way I see it. I'm not saying it's written in stone, but it looks like it to me, that the greatest setup of all time has been perpetrated on all the world. That setup has been around for 2,000 or more years. The setup is to lead you away from Yeshua and the Torah. And that setup is the Jesus Christ that the other churches are preaching. They're okay with Sunday and Christmas and Easter. When Jesus gets here, you will know Yeshua is coming soon. When that particular Jesus gets here. That's how you will know Jesus has to come first to be the false Messiah. You have to do what he has to do what everybody expects him to do. So what does everybody expect him to do? To be a false Messiah. So we need somebody to be a false Messiah, but looks like him. Remember, Satan and his ministries are like angels of light. He is going to look really good. That's the setup of the Muslim Messiah, which they call Mahdi. So the Muslims are going to try to take over the world, and the Jesus Christ is going to come, a false Jesus Christ. And when Yeshua, that's the trap, and then Yeshua will have to come here. Thousands of people when Yeshua came here, thousands of people came to him. When he left, and the people that he taught, his disciples, they drew thousands of people. When all those early believers died, the Roman Catholic Church pushed off this Jesus on everybody by force. You're going to believe or we're going to kill you. Burn you as a stake. The world has been set up, indoctrinated for this false Jesus. Songs, all Jesus, love Jesus, worship Jesus, everything pointing to Jesus. Yeshua said, it's not about me, it's about my Father. 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. 2 Thessalonians 2:4. Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he, as Elohim, sits in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. Jesus is coming, and he is not Yeshua. What I want you to do is don't let your guard down when you hear the name Jesus Christ. They're preaching a different Jesus out there. It is not the one that we know as Yeshua. In Ephesians 4:11, and he gave some apostles and some prophets and some evangelists and some pastors and teachers for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Messiah, till we all come in the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Messiah, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive, but speaking the truth in love, may grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Messiah, from whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplies, according to the effectual working of the measure of every part, make an increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love. This I say therefore, and testify in the Lord, that you henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Elohim through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart, who being past feelings have given themselves over to lasciviousness, to work all uncleanness with greediness. But you have not so learned the Messiah, if so be that you have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yeshua, that you put off concerning the former conversations the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, and that you put on the new man, which after Elohim is created in righteousness and true holiness. 2 Timothy 4:3, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itchy ears. And they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables. This Jesus, I'm telling you, that is fake, is a myth. Yeshua is the truth. It is not about saying the name right. In 2 Corinthians 11, verse 13, for such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Messiah, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transferred into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing of his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. If Satan showed up right now, you would think that he was the Father. That's how impressive he would look. He has got to look like the real thing. The Muslim Mahdi is not going to look like the real thing. Yeshua is the light of the world, not Satan. John 4:23, but the hour comes, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeks such to worship him. Elohim is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Elohim is a spirit and must be worshipped in spirit and truth. And what is truth? The law, the Torah, Yeshua. We have advanced and basic spiritual truths. The spirit of the law, the intent, and then the actual law. Do no murder. This is basic. Have no hatred in your heart is advanced. Do no adultery is basic. If you think about it, you did it. That's advanced. John 8:31. Then said Yeshua to those Jews which believed on him, if you continue in my word, then you are my disciples indeed. John 8:32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Relationship with Torah will make you free. You must stay in the Torah. John 18:37. Pilate therefore said unto him, art thou a king then? Yeshua answered, thou sayest that I am a king. To this end I was born, and for this cause came I into the world, that I should bear witness unto the truth. Everyone that is of the truth hears my voice. Zechariah 14, verse 1. Behold, the day of Yahweh comes, and thy spoil shall be divided in the midst of thee. For I will gather all nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses rifled, which means serfed, and the woman ravished, and half of the city shall go forth into captivity, and the residue of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then shall Yahweh go forth and fight against those nations, as when he fought in the day of battle. And his feet shall stand in that day upon Mount of Olives, which is before Jerusalem, on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall cleave in the midst thereof, towards the east and towards the west. There shall be a very great valley, and half of the mountain shall we move towards the north, and half of it towards the south. And why would all the armies be gathered at Jerusalem? Because the false Messiah knows the real Messiah is about to show up. And he gathers every nation that will follow him there to fight Yeshua at his return. Yahweh's Son takes care of business, and his Father doesn't show up until Revelation chapter 21. In verse 22, and I saw no temple therein, for Yahweh Elohim Almighty and the Lamb are the temple of it. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him. I hope you understand what I was trying to tell you about this fake Jesus Christ that is out in the world. It's not the name, it's what they're preaching. The real Messiah will always stick to the Torah. He will not change a single letter until everything is brand new. Yahweh bless. And page 23. 23. I gotta get there first. Come on. 23. Studying the book. He was a Torah keeping master, an Israelite, a Jew.